everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we read Genshiken, volumes 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 18. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin, your host, and with me are two of my three lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest who will have introduced himself at the end there. But Dodger, if you don't mind.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dodger, and I'm excited to talk about Genshiken, aka the original Big Bang Theory.
Oh, God.
It's true.
It's true. So true.
Yeah, it's kind of true. My name's Lou, and I'm from Lou Talks Anime, and I talk weeb trash. What up?
What up?
Hey, I'm DigiBro. I'm a guy who does analytical videos about anime on YouTube. The channel's called DigiBro, and that's about it.
Woo!
Yay!
Woo! Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
So excited to have you on. Awesome. If you've never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do after we... Wait, hold on. What was I saying?
We kind of need a spoiler-free description.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, yes.
My brain just, halted and went, I don't know where I am anymore.
You want me to go for it?
Yeah, you know what? Just do it.
All right, spoiler-free description. Genshiken is a 9-volume manga that ran from 2002 to 2006 by Kiyoshimoku about a club full of otaku. They are the club for the study of modern visual culture. And basically, the college had an anime club. It had a manga club, but they're not those. They're just the otaku club. They sit around, they talk about anime and manga. The series starts when a new freshman in college named Sasahara finds his way into the Genshiken and just sort of becomes a part of this group of eclectic, strange otaku people. And for these first 3 volumes, it's pretty much just a slice of life comedy about a bunch of otaku and what their life is like.
Did you write that down? That was
that was just off the top of my head.
That was so well spoken.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Something else that we do after we give the spoiler-free description is to give our spoiler-free recommendations. That way, if any of y'all watching this do not want to be spoiled for volumes 1 through 3 of Genshiken, you can hear us whether we recommend it or not. And then if you do want to read it, you can take your leave and then come back and watch the VOD of this on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. Yeah, so also another little spoiler warning. Please do not spoil anything until we get to the spoiler section. And then after that, do not spoil anything for anything past volume 3 of the manga.
Yes.
So we are very, very heavy on spoilers. We call them rotten bacon butts. You'll get a timeout and then a warning and then a timeout and then a ban. And none of those are fun, so.
You don't want any of those. They suck.
Wait, everyone's saying I'm really quiet?
DigiBro, too
Fine
professional
for
for
me.
this show. I'm getting so overwhelmed by you, DigiBro.
Bro. Wait, chat, let me know if this is better. I switched it to a thing. I was fine in sound check, so I don't know what is happening. But somebody want to do a spoiler-free recommendation first? Anybody?
One of you guys go first.
Yeah, I'll go first.
I feel like I'll be long-winded no matter what.
Yeah. Oh no, and I thought Lou was just being really quiet, but he is frozen.
He's frozen. I'm just realizing that as well.
Am I audio as well?
There you are. There you
Okay.
are.
Oh, it's a shame we don't have Yokurama because he actually chose a great Genshiken picture too for his avatar. I'm just seeing it now. Or unless one of you put that there.
I picked that, and
Oh,
I
okay.
was like,
You did a great job with that
thank you.
one.
I actually, when I was reading, I was like, if Yoku's not here this week, this is gonna be his picture, because it was at the end of every single chapter on this game. I was like, perfect.
Love it. Yeah, so for my spoiler-free recommendation, I would recommend this manga. I think it's very fun. I think that if you are a super nerd about stuff, then there will be a character you see parallels with. You'll be like,
Yeah.
oh god, I totally do that, right? There will be somebody who does something and you're like, oh my god, that's me. And you'll feel embarrassed but also kind of proud of them. You're like, yeah, that's awesome.
A little bit of that Watamote effect. If you
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Prince.
So
Bay.
but not
but,
as painful.
Not nearly as painful. Yeah, I think like some people are going to read this. It's the reason that I say that this is the Big Bang Theory of manga, and also I think better than Big Bang Theory, is because some people watch Big Bang Theory and they say, oh, it's about, you know, this girl who's normal, and then the whole show makes fun of those guys, and we're supposed to like connect with her as like, oh, we're normal and they're super weird. But then there's the other half of the people who watch Big Bang Theory and they're like, no, this is a show about like the fact that they're all people, right? And her looking at them as super weirdos, and then over time seeing them as just her friends. And I feel like Genshiken, the amount that we read, we started to see that kind of a transformation happen with the characters, and that's really fun. And I liked it a lot, so I would definitely recommend it.
I would also recommend it. I really enjoyed reading it. This is actually about as much as I have seen of the anime. I've actually started watching it like a week or two ago, and it's not something that I can marathon, but so it actually worked out really well that this is what I've seen. So I've seen it animated both in Japanese and with the English dub, and I don't know. I mean, my experience with it overall is I just really enjoyed it. It's an interesting read. It has a weird sense of nostalgia to it, where I don't know. It's just
Especially
how
if you were
I'm
into anime in like the early mid 2000s, because it's like it's such a perfect time capsule of that era. I could definitely see that nostalgia.
like.
Yeah.
I was a freshman in college around this time period, like that the manga is set. It was like what you
Really?
said,
How old are
2002,
you?
2000.
You don't look that old.
Whoa.
I'm 28. I'm 28, but I did dual enrollment, so I started college my junior year of high school.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
Gotcha.
It came out in 2002. That's the
Yeah, it
setting,
started
right?
running in 2002. Yeah.
So I was like
So-
10.
Oh,
Lou.
Oh, we've lost
sorry.
you.
No, Lou.
Anyway, so yeah, it's real
Blue,
good.
you're
You're back.
frozen.
He's there.
Your picture's
It's real
frozen.
good.
Hear you.
It's real good, guys. Aaron, go ahead and go.
Okay.
I'm gonna just sit here and be frozen.
I also really enjoyed this manga. It was slower paced than a lot of manga that we read, but it was really refreshing and not at all boring. I loved the slice of life nature of it, and I also really liked the nostalgia, like Lou was saying, and the characters. Just in what we read, there was just little, not necessarily that they developed heavily, but there was a lot more that we learned about them, and they're so enjoyable, and just their interactions with one another are really fun to watch, and so, or read. Ooh. Yeah, so I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it's not going to appeal to everybody. I would not ever recommend it as a starter manga to anybody. But if you are an otaku, if you love anime and manga, I think it is something that really represents the culture in a fun way, and I think it's a great read.
Yeah. Well, my spoiler-free recommendation, I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorite manga of all time, which is why I brought it up. I saw you guys hadn't covered it yet when I looked through your videos, and I was like, oh, we got to do Genshiken. Very big fan, and I recommend it to both otaku and anime fans, like especially if you are like otaku, like if you're into the moe stuff, if you're into the culture, the doujinshi and all that stuff, like this will definitely be for you. And also if you're trying to get into that kind of stuff, because for me, I first saw Genshiken in 2007. I read like one of the volumes and I watched the anime, the first season of it, which was all that was out back then. And that like I was just getting into like the otaku culture stuff, and the show really made me want to get into that stuff. So like I'd never heard of like doujinshi and like games and stuff like that until Genshiken, and I was like, I need to know everything now. I have to be like the Genshiken members. And then me and my brothers, we took because I had a really big room, and we took all of my brother's video games and anime and everything, and we put it all in my room, and we said, this is the Genshiken. And like, so that's the kind of effect I have on an impressionable 16-year-old in 2007. But yeah, highly recommended to anybody who wants to get deeper into anime fandom and explore the the otaku culture.
Awesome. Sweet. So there you go. We all highly recommend this manga. If you do not want to be spoiled, now is the time to take your leave and go read it. And like I said before, you can come back and watch the VOD of this on my channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. Goes up basically immediately after the show. So let's jump into spoiler section. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Madarame is God.
Yeah,
Did you? That's an inside joke that we do. That somebody is God at the end of every countdown, and we have to shout out somebody is God.
I see. I didn't know that was coming. I
always forget to like inform the guests about that part.
Just a heads up.
Oh,
so they're always like
really organized.
Wow. Everyone's so in sync.
Can I just say, I think that out of all of us, I think Erin is our Kosaka. She's like the one who people meet and they're like, she's
Fully
so
normal.
cute. She's like starting a family. She's pregnant. You like walk into her house and you're like, what a great house. You've got a pool. Oh my gosh. And then you walk into her room and you're just like, oh Lord, just assaulted.
The expressions that like David's executive coworkers, when they walk in, they're like, wait, what?
Am I in? No, it's the same house.
It's the same place. I'll take it. I'll be him.
Yeah, I love in the first chapter. There's the part when Sasahara first comes into the club and like he starts hearing everybody's ringtones and they've all got like anime ringtones and it's like Kugiyama's got Castle in the Sky and someone's got like a moe thing and then Kosaka's goes off and he's like, oh my god, that's the most hardcore of them all.
Yeah, I loved those moments.
And that's exactly me when I'm around any other anime fans. It's like I'm constantly scoping out to see like how obscure of stuff they know. You know, like oh, your iPhone background is like a Watamote. Yeah, everybody's seen that. And then waiting for someone to start like humming the melody to like some '80s show, and I'm like, oh, this guy knows what's going on.
This guy, you're the legit.
That's like I had my ringtone for a long time was one of the songs from an Ava Rebuild soundtrack. And I was like, I hope someday this rings in public and someone knows what it is.
I'm glad I'm
waiting.
the only one who feels that way all the time. I drive around with like my windows down, blatching like the Is the Order a Rabbit opening sometime. One day, someone in the car next to me is gonna be like, yeah.
I'm so happy I'm not the only one who does that. Because I have a playlist of anime songs that I just like some days will just play and I'll be like, anyone gonna recognize this one?
This city is much too plebeian for my car.
I don't belong here. Oh my god, amazing. Alright, so we usually start out with a question. What were you expecting before you read this manga, or did you? You've already read it, so if you wanted to give your input about what it felt like revisiting it, or going back to like the olden time when you read it for the first time, too, feel free to
I'll let you
do
guys
that.
give yours first since it's more current. Like you all just read it.
Yeah. I got I was gonna say I got exactly what I thought I was going to get going into this. But I actually got a little bit more. I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I was expecting to. Just because sometimes I typically really enjoy slice of life, but also sometimes I can get a little bit bored. But this one, it ended up meeting like all the expectations. It was really funny. It knew the culture and understood it without like really poking like insulting amounts of fun at it. Yeah. It handled it like the humor of it really respectfully, I thought. It was really fun. So I got what I expected out of it, if not more. I think I ended up enjoying the characters a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I would say I'm at about the same place where I knew what I was expecting having seen the anime going into it, but I felt I got more out of reading the manga. I don't know if that really because it adapts things fairly well, or the anime adapted things fairly well, but I felt like there are just little bits and pieces that did get left out.
Yeah, there's a lot more detail in the manga. Because
Yeah,
I remember
exactly.
the first time I saw the anime being disappointed when they go into the doujin store. Because in the manga, you just see like posters and stuff everywhere of like like half naked anime girls like on every wall, and then they go there in the anime, and I guess probably because they couldn't get away with it on TV, it's like just a bookstore. Like there's not really all the
Yes.
costumes and stuff.
So it was just a lot of little details that got left out that I don't feel like they took away anything in the case of the anime. So in terms of my expectations, I knew what I was getting into when I started reading this, and I still managed to enjoy myself. One of the things I really like about this manga is that there are lots of pieces of media that attempt to portray otaku culture, and I don't know. Like this is one that I feel like actually nails it because it feels more genuine. It doesn't feel, I guess, as cheesy as like let's say Oremo. In Oremo,
Right.
it's just the way it's handled. It just comes off as
It's
corny,
like-
whereas this
Yeah, 'cause,
feels
like
more
Genshiken's
realistic.
like, yeah, it's like real characters as opposed to trying to be an otaku thing that also is commented. Like Imo feels like it's commenting on otaku, but it also is that. It is the thing it's making fun of. Like she is this she's a lolly little sister, adorable character. There's none of that in Genshiken. There's no adorable, he has a little sister and she's a ganguro.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, the little sister. It was like much more. Sorry, I can hold on to that thought until everybody goes to answer the question.
All right, Dodger.
Well, okay, so we attempted to do this MangaPod once before, so this is my second time reading through it. I enjoyed it just as much the second time, honestly. I'm trying to think how I did feel when I read it originally, I remember expecting it to be to have more bombastic characters, to do like the standard thing where it's like, we're gonna take this very, normal sort of boring slice of life aspect, but then we're going to punch it up with like super goofy characters all over the place. And I remember feeling just so happy with the fact that all of the characters, like, of course they've got like goofball moments, but all of the characters felt just very real and like living their lives and becoming friends or maybe not becoming friends, like it's just really nice to read. I don't know how else to put it.
It's really pleasant.
It is very pleasant. Yeah.
Digi?
Yeah, coming back to this one, from like an otaku standpoint, because like I said, this kind of got me into like the whole otaku thing, and I remember early on, like I'd read a reference in Genshiken and sort of be like have to look it up. Like there's a part in the first chapter where Sasahara gets punched in the face and he says, "My own father never even hit me," which is like the most famous line from the original Mobile Suit Gundam. And I didn't really know that back then, but like now I'm reading it and I get every reference. I know what all of the all the things they're referencing back to. So like whereas in the past it felt like I was opening up this new world of like, whoa, anime and Genshiken. Now it's like completely normal. Like this is just like reading my actual life. Like the actual references me and my friends would make, and so it was almost surreal, especially because I'm that age now. Because when I first read it, I was 16, and like the characters are probably around 18 to 20 at the start of the manga, and it covers probably like 6 years. So I'm like actually the age of the characters. I'm 24 now. So yeah, it was interesting relating to them even more, and one other thing I noticed reading through this for the second time that I never really thought about the first time was like the gender portrayal, because in this it's very much a boys' club at first. Like it's all guys, and when Saki shows up, everyone's kind of like, "Oh God, a girl! What do we do? This is like a whole new like, girls aren't otaku." And then when Ono shows up, it's like, okay, she is the otaku girl, but like it's just the one, and it's like. I feel like back then in 2002, like the idea of a girl otaku was just Ono type. And then when you get to Genshiken 2, which we're not going to talk about and I'm not going to spoil, except to say that the sequel to Genshiken, which started 3 years after the original ended, is about a club of almost all girls, where after most of the original members graduate, the new members coming in are mostly girls. And it's more about like how there's so many more female otaku now, and how like there's so many different types of them now, as opposed to just the ono like into boys love, into cosplay type that there was before. So that was pretty interesting to see, like the way that it handled gender back then as opposed to how it does now.
That's cool. That makes me want to like keep reading to see like what the sequel is like.
Yeah,
it's pretty
same.
interesting. There's even a transgender character in the sequel.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I know. I want to read. I want to keep reading more Genshiken, more of this too, for sure. And then like go and watch the
It's
anime.
not too long. It's
Yeah.
like 9 volumes.
It's not one
I
that
think-
goes on and on or anything like that.
Yeah, the second series has actually been running like even longer than the first one ever ran, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I also need to check out the anime because tons of people have said that they absolutely love the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
There's a
anime's
lot-
strange. There's sorry.
No.
There's 2 seasons, because there was like 2 seasons produced like a year and a half or 2 years apart, with an OVA in the middle that you have to watch because it introduces some of the new characters. And then I think there's another OVA, and then season 2 has its own anime. And then there's an anime OVA adaptation of Kujibiki Unbalanced, the manga that they
The manga that they love, right?
Yeah,
Hold on,
there's a
I'm gonna
whole
give you
anime
guys-
adaptation of that.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you guys a visual representation of what he's talking about. Hold on.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, do you have Kujibiki Unbalanced?
Does he? Does he? Hi.
Because I know there's like I think there's like a manga and a light novel and an anime. Oh, he's got
Oh my God, Lou,
This
you're
is
so
what you have to
stacked.
It's all good.
What?
Damn.
I've got the first season, and I thought I had the manga sitting next to me, but I guess it's disappeared.
It's gone.
I have the manga over there. That shelf is inaccessible at the moment.
Awesome. Sweet. So let's talk. Do you guys want to talk about
Cover for
story
the
or?
second generation, right there. So off the
Oh, I was seeing. Okay, when I was looking for pictures for the thumbnail, I was seeing that everywhere. I was like, oh man, they're gonna get so many girls.
So many
Yeah.
ladies are gonna show up later.
It's like we didn't really get any. I was like, wait, where are
But
the
even like
girls?
even in the
But-
way that the girls are portrayed in the first Genshiken, like yes, they're stereotypes, but they're not off-putting in the way that they're presented. Like even Saki is just like, I don't get it. Like
Yeah.
I don't get it. You're
And
all
I mean, all of them are
so weird.
stereotypes. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, like I didn't find myself disliking Saki. Like
No, she's
she
great.
just, she's just like
She's one of the
this
best.
really, yeah, she's like the battle axe lady character who's just like, I don't understand what this is all about, but
Right.
the second that they want to like roll over and be submissive about something, she's like, no, absolutely not. She's like their biggest champion, and it's so funny to me.
I love it. She's like, she has like a little bit of tsundere in her, but it's not pushes like extreme annoyingness or anything. Like she has a lot of personality too, and she's just so fun. I love every time she's in a scene. I'm like, oh my God, girl, you go, you awesome.
I love how blatantly sexual she is, where she just legit just wants to fuck Kosaka, and that's all she really wants
I
to do.
love it so much. I was like, yeah, strong female sexuality representation.
Right.
Ooh.
She's
I mean,
like
the girl
so
just wants
desperate.
some dick. I mean, come
I
on.
know.
Yeah.
This is so bad, and
She
he's
was-
just like, but I'm watching anime.
Yeah.
But
She
I'm
doesn't
actually,
even
I'm
realize.
like playing a porn game already. It's fine.
Oh my
The
god.
scene where Watanabe is like, "Why don't you just give her that first kiss?" And he's like, "Oh, okay." Like it's
Okay.
it's never occurred to him that she wanted it. If she had said anything at any point, she would have got what she wanted. But
Yeah.
She's just like trying to be super coy and be like, "Oh, he'll make a move eventually." It's like he's never gonna clue into
He
that girl.
won't, though. Yeah.
But it's also hilarious that she kind of equates his fascination with porn games and masturbation to infidelity or being close to it.
Right.
And she's like, nope, this is just something you got to deal with if you want to be with an otaku. And just-
Yeah.
and everyone's answer is
That's-
always, "This and that are two different things." It's always the answer. It's two
love-
different things.
With that, they start to like get really serious, and then they're like, "It's just this. It's two different things," and they kind of like just leave it, and they'll come back to it later in another chapter or something. Yeah, I was really confused. So they do stuff like sex and stuff, right? Because they reference that constantly. Okay, I was like, they're very like not, what's the word? they're subtle about it, but I was like, I think they're implying that they sex in the room.
Yeah. After the kiss, they start dating for real, and then they've been having what seems like a lot of sex.
A lot of it, right?
Saki wants to portray it as a lot of sex. I don't know how much she's actually getting. I don't know how often she wins over Puyo Puyo. But,
that's the
Or late
one
night
aspect of their relationship that makes me kind of sad. Is I'm like, I can't tell if he like actually cares about her very much, or if he's just like, this is nice.
Yeah.
You're my girlfriend. That's cool. But I also still love all of this shit. So much.
I get the sense with Kosaka, like he definitely cares about her, and he is like, you know, he's like a total anime protagonist in a way. Like he's oblivious, but he's also protective. There's like the scene where the guy tries to attack Sasahara's sister, and he just slaps the guy away all badass, and it was like, you know, somewhere underneath it all, he's like a virtuous guy who is deeply loving. And I mean, he's an anime fan in the way, you know how, I don't know, some anime fans really like feel the virtues of anime, you know, like the people who really love altruistic characters because deep inside you want to be an altruistic person. I think he's that type. Like, he naturally is idealistic like an anime character. But he's also just completely oblivious to everything but anime.
So basically, he's a generic shonen protagonist.
Yeah, but one who's cool.
He's not like early Naruto. He's late Naruto.
I'd say he's not the type who, if a girl flirts with him, he goes, "Oh, I can't." He's the type who won't respond until they flirt with him, and then he'll go, "Oh, I didn't know you liked me. Okay."
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to think. I know there's at least one character who is like that, but I can't think of it.
The main dude from Food Wars.
Yeah,
totally
Soma.
like that.
Soma's
Yeah,
totally like that.
He's a bit like that.
Yeah, all the girls are like, like blushing and just, and he's like, "What's up, buddy?" And just like goes on with his life.
He's like, "Want me to make you some food?"
Yeah, I'm gonna make you some food, girl. It's gonna be so good. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
I love him. I love his character design and just how his smiles got me every single time. When there's this big, like, everyone's dramatic and serious, and he's just like,
guys, don't you love anime?
Just
I love anime.
Don't you love anime so much, guys?
I totally, like, because for me with Genshiken, it's like immediately always every character is one of my friends. So, like, I have the friend who I project onto Kosaka, which is a friend of mine, who's this really short, beautiful Asian dude. He's just gorgeous. He's got a perfect face, great hair, and he's a master of fighting games, just like Kosaka. And all he does is play fighting games all day. He comes over to my house and will sit in my brother's room and play fighting games for 8 straight hours and go home and not even talk to anybody. And I'm like, this guy is the Kosaka of my group of friends.
He is. Oh my god, he legit is Kosaka.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he's almost never interested in women either. Just like he could have any woman he wanted. He's beautiful, but like he's totally not interested. So he's like exactly that way.
Oh man, you should start
I always saw
setting up.
myself
Oh, sorry.
as I always saw myself as Madarame.
I love Madarame
So you're God.
so much.
So
You're
I guess
God.
I am
DigiBro's
God.
God.
DigiBro's God. Got it.
Manga.
Especially back in high school, I was the fire and brimstone. Like everyone must be into anime, or else you guys are too low level. Everyone needs to watch what I watch. Like I had a film and animation club in high school that I started, where I would go up, and for most of the time I would wear the Haruhi armband and headband, and I'd go up and like explain the histories of the movies, all like passionate like Madarame and stuff. And I've given his speech a few times about why it's not weird to be attracted to anime characters. the W V Y
W
thing
line
that
with
you
the
drew.
V.
Yeah.
V. Oh my god. That's amazing.
Erin, I keep forgetting to say this, but you need to change the overlay. I know it's like too late now, but
no!
we've been in spoiler-free section for so long. I kept meaning to say something and then not doing it.
I completely blanked on that. Listen, Pregnancy brain does not allow for much to go right.
We know that that's a real scientific thing now.
It's
so
true.
Everybody get off her back. She has pregnancy brain.
It is scientifically proven because I am making so much extra blood that is not getting oxygen. It's all going to my baby that I'm stupider.
Wow.
Science.
Science. Pregnancy.
Pregnancy. It's great. It's beautiful, you guys. Yeah, but Madarame, at first I thought I was gonna hate him because he comes off as this like really pretentious like anime, like anyone who
Right.
doesn't like anime is stupid and like you just don't understand it. But I ended up really loving him as we got more into his brain,
Yeah.
and he was really just like, I just really love anime and I do want friends, but I just don't know how to talk to people sometimes, even if I know
Yeah.
them for like a year. And I was like, I know that social anxiety. He's like, I feel
It's
you.
like he winds up being the most earnest character.
Yes.
And you just love him for that.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I just want you to succeed at everything.
I can't decide if this is a spoiler because it was sort of supposed to be foreshadowed in Volume 3 that he kind of might have a crush on Saki,
Yes.
and that's what they were trying to sort of get at. But yeah, he totally has a crush on Saki too, and just
Yeah.
can't do anything about it or say
I
anything.
definitely saw that foreshadowing. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that coming.
I would ship it.
The whole I ship
You
it.
won't be alone, I assure you. I've seen the shippers.
I ship all of Genshiken together.
Everybody
Just orgy.
together. Genshiken orgy.
Genshiken orgy, OTP.
OT6?
OT.
7?
OT
2, 3.
orgy? Orgy.
Octopi.
One true orgy. There.
I won't spoil any other relationship things that happen.
I'm trying not to. Like,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I've
man.
I've
Oh,
seen
man,
Second
so much-
Generation, And there's some. No, I can't say anything.
You can't say it. You
Yeah.
can't say it. I'm
No,
looking
the
at you
second-
like I want you to say it, but I don't
The
actually want you to say
second
it.
half of
Don't say it.
Genshiken gets a lot more
Don't say it.
romantic. Let's just put it that way.
Aww. Now I'm like, who does who?
Oh well, there's new characters who come in too, so part of it involves the new characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the characters who comes in about halfway through Genshiken sort of becomes like the main character for the second half, and she is great. Her name's Ogiwe, and there's a blog called Ogiwe Maniacs that I've been following for a very long time. A guy who's a really big Ogiwe fan, and he does like a. If you start following Genshiken and you start following the second series, he does chapter reviews every chapter, so check him out. Ogiwe Maniacs. Very long time blogger and friend. That was a plug. I hope you don't mind.
Ogiwe.
That was subtle.
No, that was awesome. Talking about main characters, the main dude, I was like expecting so much more focus on him. Like, I don't know, the way that when I read the summary the first time, I was he obviously at the beginning has the few chapters where he's introduced and he's slowly becoming more and more of an otaku and into this culture. But after that, it kind of becomes everyone else is more of a focus. And I wasn't expecting that. Like, it's not that I hated it, but I actually loved it. I was just expecting him to have so much more of a role. And like some chapters, he's barely even in the background. He's kind of just there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like Sasahara because he's like the most basic template like otaku, where everyone else kind of is like Madarame is the fire and brimstone one, the one who you know is on internet forums every day bitching about anime. There's one of the best like after like those little panels that they have after the chapter where like the characters will just talk about something is like they're talking about Kujibiki on Balance, and he's complaining about how like why would they pair that director with those writers? It was so sloppy. I have the VHS. Let's watch it right now and talk about it. Like which is totally how I see anime and manga fans, where they'll complain about a show all day, and at the end of the day, love it and watch it 10 times and be like, I don't know why I'm watching this. But then you got like Kugayama, the big fat guy, who is just like my big fat anime fan. He had all the same social anxieties, like hated to talk in crowds. Like the exact sentence where he says, "My voice doesn't carry in a crowd," and it's like such a "what the hell are you talking about" thing to say, but that's exactly what my friend used to say.
Aww.
Like my voice doesn't carry in crowds, and like he would hate to talk to cashiers and stuff. I used to have to order for him at fast food restaurants because he wouldn't do it. So that was totally the Kugiyama. He's a lot better now. Not quite like that as he's grown older. But oh, and then who's left? Oh, Tanaka, is that his name? The long-haired guy?
Yeah, cosplay
Tanaka.
dude.
I love him.
Yeah, all about cosplay and gunpla. Very passionate about gunpla and cosplay.
Oh my god. I love the Gundam chapter reminded me of you, Dodger. I was like, Dodger has to relate to this so hard.
Yeah. Like pretty much any chapter that focused more on him, I was like, God, if we were gonna like cast ourselves,
I
would totally be that guy.
You're totally him. The part that I do have a question. I want us all to say at least one spot that we felt like we related to most, like one scene that we were like, oh, that's us. Mine is when Sazahara goes to the first convention and he's like, oh my god, so much doujinshi. That was totally me at my first anime expo. I was like,
literally gonna
oh
say
my
that
god. I was like, the wall scroll. Do you remember the wall scroll thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So-
when he just unfolds it in public.
Yeah, okay, so me, my first anime convention, I was like, what are these magical things? Wall scrolls? They're beautiful. And so I was like, okay, Dodger, I'm going to buy one wall scroll. Don't let me buy any more than that. She goes, okay. And then I saw another one. I was like, I'm going to buy 2 wall scrolls. Don't let me buy any more than that. I ended up buying like 4 wall scrolls.
Yeah, and then she had 3, and she was like, "I can't get more than 3, right?" And I was like, "Look, I
like,
mean,
you're
you
at
went
3.
from 1 to 3. I can only wall scroll cock block you so many times."
And I like
ever
have
had
no
to,
space for them. I have nowhere to put these wall
You ever
scrolls
have
now.
to come home with your new stuff and you're like, why did I... There's nowhere I can put
I came
this.
home. My husband was so disappointed in me. He's just like, he's like, what is all of this? And where are you gonna put it? I was like, I'll find places. I never hung up like 2 of them because I couldn't find a place to put it. But I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, there's so much wall scrolls. There's so many things I can buy.
Yeah, the scene when they go to the dojin shop and they're talking about their different
He
methods
doesn't
to
look
like
at the price.
yeah, literally he doesn't look at the price thing. It was me earlier today buying Bulma. Just being like, it's all in yen. I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna find out how much this actually is in US dollars. I don't care. I want it so bad. I'm just gonna buy it.
Oh no. That's a terrifying method.
It's so. I was like, oh my goodness. He's just so excited.
For me, it's Madarame walking around with the broken wrist.
That's what
Because
I was gonna do too.
I've done the wandering the convention floor on a Sunday morning with a really bad hangover and just suffering through, but no, for the sake of
I
doujinshi.
got
and-
one up
and-
on you on that.
Do
Last
it.
year at Otakon, during karaoke, because every year Otakon has a karaoke stage, and I always do a ton of karaoke. And I was doing Database, the opening for Log Horizon.
Oh my god.
And I'm jumping around like an idiot, and I land funny on my foot, and I'm like, I think I might have broke my foot. And I did. I broke my foot in 5 places, really bad.
How did you do that jumping on a stage?
I was just...
What?
You
She's not
database
made
too
for that, okay,
hard. You
Dodger, and she
database
didn't
too hard.
It was during like the breakdown part of the song, so I was like going crazy. Broke my foot, and like this was towards the end of Saturday night, and like we go home, and I'm like, everyone's like, oh, it's probably just sprained, because no one wants to go to a hospital in Baltimore, which is 4.5 hour drive from home. No one wants to take me to a hospital. No one wants to admit that it's probably broken. So I'm just sitting there like in incredible pain all night. And the next day we go to the con and I'm like, I'd never been to the artist alley before. So I spend like hours hobbling very slowly through the artist alley on a broken foot. Like just ever so slowly trudging through like, no, it's probably just swollen, right? Like all the laces pulled out of my shoe because it's so enormously swollen. Yeah, and then it's not until I get home that, and like I still walked on it for days. I just assumed it was sprained, and then like it turns out it's like this horrific break that took 3.5 months to heal. So yeah, rereading Madarame, and like because I've read Genshiken before, of course I said after breaking it, I'm just like Tetsuo at the end of Volume 2 of Akira. 'Cause that's what Madarame says. when he breaks his hand.
Did you? This is your life. Genshiken is your life.
Yeah. Life imitates art, which imitates life.
Oh my gosh, that's an
Oh my
amazing story.
Yes.
It's a pathetic story. Everywhere I went to get, like, every doctor I went to was like, how'd you break your foot? And I'm like, karaoke. And they're like, were you drunk? And I'm like, actually, no, I wasn't drunk. That's the
quite
worst
sober.
part.
I just really like Database, okay?
Yeah. It's a great song.
It is!
Locked on Target Show in chat said, I love him being broken and silent, and as he exits, he yells, buy 2 of everything. That was like a great moment. Just,
Oh my god, that was so...
don't come with me. Stay here. Buy 2 of everything.
He's like, please buy 2 of everything.
Oh my
I also love, I really like talking more about the convention stuff. When the sister and Saki tried so hard to go to the convention, I just love they were like, we're gonna do this and we can do this, and then there's like, oh my god, it's too hot, we can't do this.
Yeah, this is the worst.
And Kasaka's just like, okay, bye, and just left them.
Kamike terrifies me. I don't know. I don't think I can handle line, like, just being in line forever.
No.
For like 5 hours.
Oh my
I
god.
love this. This is a joke I didn't get the first time I read it, and I did this time. Is that there's like one of the afterward panels. It says like Ono had fallen asleep in line because she was there the day before. Because day 2 of Kamike is all gay, so she had been there for the day 3,
For the all
and that's
gay
why
day.
she's tired during day 3. I hadn't caught that. It's always really subtle about like her, because she all her doujins are BL, and like they
Yeah.
never explicitly say it, but you can tell that it's BL.
I love, yeah, they do that. I like when, Sazahara's like, hey, my sister got some, doujin from you. And she's like,
Yeah.
so I was lending them to her because my friend says it's okay if that she has them. It just starts, like, going on frantically. And he goes, okay, it's fine.
I love that she got his normal sister into gay doujinshi. That's fantastic.
I know, it's so
Oh my god, I love it. I love, like, the humor in it because it is, like, it reminded me a lot of Friends humor in that it is, like, a really adult humor, but still not just blatantly sexual or dirty or anything like that. Like, it was really witty, which made
Yeah.
it, like, really pleasant to read and just, like, it's friends hanging out and having
Felt
these
really
conversation. Yeah.
It's because it's so matter of fact about the sex, where
Mhm.
most anime is so coy, and it's like, oh, you saw my boobs, you know. But this
Yes.
is just like,
They didn't make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
they're
there.
Last
dating
night I
and
was-
they have sex. Moving on.
Saki literally starts conversations like, last night I was fucking Kosaka from behind, and like he put on anime. Isn't that weird? And they're all like,
Nah. I love it. They're just so like open with it, which makes it just really refreshing. Because, like you said, there's
Extremely
so
rare.
many. There's so many
Extremely
that
rare,
is just like, oh no, and this is just like, eh.
I do think also one of the ways that they're able to get away with that though is that all of the characters are older than we would typically see.
That's what I was
Which-
gonna say, that they're adults.
It's really
so
nice.
it's-
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, I mean, even in this, like, if you draw parallels with like, let's say Golden Time, where you have adult characters in a college setting, even then they didn't really overtly say that they were having sex.
Yeah.
So that's still, I mean, that's still a point in Genshiken's favor, I would say. That makes it feel that much more realistic. That is just a normal thing for adults to do.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just nice. I liked it so much.
Yeah.
No, there was no petty drama either. Like, even with the sister getting brought in, where it was like, oh, she loves Sokka too, and she's gonna put the moves on him and try to steal him. Even with that, it wasn't like super drug out or just stupid. It was
That's
really
definitely
funny.
the weirdest element to me, because it seems so obvious she's never gonna get with him. That's like, why are you trying, girl? You're like a high schooler. You're like, calm down and go home.
She's such a high schooler. Like, she's the only one who brings that kind of drama because of how old she is.
Right. I love her because that friend I was talking about, the one I compared to Kugeyama, the big guy, he has a little sister who's sort of like her, where she's very high school drama, normal, like, prissy sort of makeup heavy girl who always dates bad guys, always in trouble. and she totally will get into like random anime. Like she's not an otaku at all, but he has so much anime on like his hard drive and like shared family storage that she's probably seen more anime than a lot of people who consider themselves anime fans just by like osmosis of being a sister to an otaku. So that's why I like that she started reading BL Doujins, because I could totally see it. Like she'll make fun of otaku forever, but she'll probably get into a ton of anime just from hanging out with that crew.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I really liked her too. I was expecting to be really annoyed by her, but I ended up really liking her. I think it's just because of like how awesome the cast is, that all of their interactions, even if there's something that I don't like about a character, their interactions with one another are just so exciting and fun that it makes me just enjoy the character even more. All right, let's talk about art. Let's talk about art of the manga. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Love the amount of detail, the background detail. To me, in general, in both anime and manga, like if you want to bring a story to life, it has to look like people live there. And in Genshiken, like everywhere they go, you can see just so much stuff in the background, all the posters, all the games, and you really get a sense of like what these guys' tastes are from stuff like that, where, you know, you've got all the moe girls on all the posters behind them. You're like, okay, they're clearly this type of otaku, you know. All the details about like the fighting games they play, which I guess that's more in the text, but like, yeah, if you watch the anime, they're usually playing Guilty Gear. I think they had like a brand deal with
Sega.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so
Sega
like,
was heavily involved in the production of the anime.
Oh, that's
yeah, because
great.
in the chapter where they were doing the school festival, I believe Ono was cosplaying as Jam from I don't know if that was who she. I think she was that in the manga too, but in the anime, then like they explicitly show they're having like a Guilty Gear tournament. Like it's footage from the game in there, and details like that are really what makes the story like real. Like, yes, this is exactly the kind of stuff that I would have on a poster in the background of the room, you know.
See, I'm gonna have to like I agree that the stuff that's meant for us to really be for us to really notice and understand the characters, like that stuff, there's a lot of detail in those elements of the background, but because they are otaku in a small space, a lot of the backgrounds also did look really cluttered, and not everything was as easy to make out. So that's just a personal issue that I had with it. I get that that's a part that comes with the setting, where not every, like you're not going to be able to make out the title of every DVD case that's in the bookcase behind them, but you know, it's just a little
one of those
thing.
like fantasy manga where they draw every like, it's no Bride story, like where there's just crazy, like the details in the background are definitely not like fully drawn. It's all like just kind of sketches in the background of Genshiken.
Yeah, I do agree that it definitely adds, the backgrounds really add to the atmosphere about what, like, this place we're supposed to be in with, like, Genshiken. It's an anime, manga, social, like, media, culture, visual arts place, and, like, having all of that clutter in the background I really like, because it kind of gives their personalities even more distinction. And then also something I really enjoyed about the art were the character designs. I really liked, like I said, Kosaka's smiling face all the time, but like the way that Madarame like slouched a lot when he walked, and just the way the characters, the art portrayed how they carried themselves really fit their personalities, and I really liked that. And there wasn't really any time I got confused by the character designs or anything. I just really liked them. They felt really realistic, but also added, like, it felt like their personalities fit their character designs as well.
The Press's design really weirded me out, though.
Super weird.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. It was so weird. He was so strange.
He's great. I think he's basically gone now. I don't think he really showed up.
Yeah, he just like peaced out.
It's like, I gotta work on my thesis now. Bye, bitches.
And I liked how, like, in one of the last chapters we read, the cleaning one, that they found some manga or like something from a really long time ago, and they're like, was this the same Prez? How long was he
16
president?
years ago.
Yeah. They're like, we'll just close this and pretend we never saw this.
I mean, he was drawn in a way that made him seem older.
Yeah.
So
I definitely know some guys who hang out in college for well over 10 years, so I'm sure that
totally.
those guys exist, especially in something like a Genshiken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in something like this kind of a club.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how varied the character designs are. Not just that they look realistic, but that they feel more realistic because everyone has a different body type. And unfortunately, early on, you don't necessarily get that a lot with the girls because they do have different body types, but they're both like Saki is like smoking hot. She's supposed to be like the model attractive character, and then Ono has just like huge rack, like
Yeah.
unbelievable. But then once you get into the second series and they introduce more of the girl characters, they're just as varied as the original crew. So
That's awesome.
I definitely like that variety. That also helps to bring it to life, and especially because, like I said, some of the characters, even like not only their personality but their body type also matches someone I know. You know, like they look
Yeah.
like people I know. Tanaka especially, with like the long hair and the ponytail and the scraggly beard, kind of just like a fat normal height guy, and I was like, that's like everyone at Otakon. Like they all
Yeah.
look completely in place with people I'd hang out with.
Yeah, that's something I was like, I know somebody who is totally otaku and like looks like this or something like that, or I've seen them at conventions and stuff, and it's just I loved that detail that's given to it, that like the person
Actually-
creating it understood it.
What am I talking about? I should be saying Tanaka just is what I looked like when I read Genshin, because I used to have the super long hair and the ponytail.
Oh man, you should get a
That was
clip in,
me.
and then you're
Yes.
good.
Yes.
And before this beard was nearly as full. It was very scraggly, awful. I looked like him back in high school.
That's awesome. Dodger, what were your thoughts on the art?
I liked the art. It was, I mean, I personally really liked the cluttered backgrounds because it felt real to me.
Yeah.
Just like if you were all in that room with that much stuff, it would just be a nightmare, right? It would be a shit show always.
Yeah, just
so-
pouring
I just-
everywhere.
Yeah,
I-
I liked that element. I liked
This is what my life is like.
yeah.
This is my everyday life. So
Yes.
so I
That's
definitely
mine.
feel. Although my room, as you can see, is like enormous, so it's not quite the same. But
Mine.
if you tried to fit all my stuff in the Genshiken club room, it would not work out. So yeah, it feels real to me.
I liked how much detail was put into like the shops and stuff like we were talking about earlier, into the conventions. Like it felt packed. You know, it always felt like when they went into those stores, when they went to the conventions, when they were in the Genshiken room, it felt like it was just like so cluttered and filled with people, and that added to the feeling of like it's kind of like I'm there, like I can put myself into that position, like I sort of know what that's like. And so I liked that. I thought that the character designs were simple but varied. It was nice.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. All right, do you guys have anything else you would like to touch on? Otherwise, we'll wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings.
Oh,
Anybody
I'm
else?
reading it.
You can
All right.
you rate however you want. Listen,
yeah,
Oh,
you
I'm
can
down.
give a color.
you
can-
don't have to. You can give
An
it
animal.
like as many Puyo
Just a
out of
feeling.
Puyos as you want.
Puyo out of Puyo.
So I rate it Puyo out of Puyo. Oh, can we hang on? I do have one thing I want to say. It was so freaking cute to me that Saki was attempting to learn how to play that game. So
And then she
I
got
love that part.
destroyed.
It was one of my favorite
Absolutely
parts.
destroyed.
And Kozaka's just like he's not able to read the atmosphere at all and understand that she's just so upset that she tried so hard and he
I've
just
got-
destroyed her.
I've got those friends who can do that in Puyo Puyo. It is scary. As soon as they even said that it was going there, I was like, it's gonna be nothing but gray blocks all day. And that's exactly what it was.
I love that scene so much. That was one of my favorites. It was adorable. All right, so final thoughts and ratings. I'm trying to think about my rating, what I would rate it. Just these 3 volumes.
Okay.
I don't know. Why do we do ratings? I don't know. I'm going to give it 8 Puyo Puyos out of 10 Puyo Puyos. Puyo.
No decimals? Really?
8.276 Puyos.
There you go.
8.276. There we go. I
What do you
thought
have
it
to
was
do to a Puyo to only have 0.276 left?
someday you'll know.
Oh God.
I really liked this manga. I thought it was a really well done slice of life, really well written. It understood the culture that it was poking fun at without ever being disrespectful towards it. It had a lot of really great witty humor. The characters were really fun and entertaining, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was really pleasant for what it was. It's not, I wouldn't say it like blew me away story-wise or that it's my favorite manga at all, but it's still a really well done manga in what we read, and I can only see it getting better, especially with like hearing such great things about the sequel. It makes me just want to keep reading it. So there we go.
Anybody else want to go?
I'll go.
8.276.
I'll give it a 7.5 Puyos out of 10 Puyos. Because
Alrighty.
I really liked it. I thought that it was fun. I do want to read more of it. I think the characters are really fun. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't something that I could say like, wow, I really loved that, or wow, that really blew my mind, right? It's not that sort of a story. It's a very fluffy, nice stroll through the world of being a super otaku, and I appreciated that, and I thought it was done really well. So,
Lou?
I'm going to give it an 8.0 Puyos out of 10.
8.0.
Puyos.
I like to think you mean the alphabetical O, not 0.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
8.0.
Puyos out of 10. 8.0 out of 10. No, it's just a really well put together slice of life, and I know where it's going. I have a pretty good understanding of where it's going. These first 3 volumes that we read really did a lot to establish the characters and the dynamics of the relationships that they all have. If you notice that throughout the course of the 18 chapters, we see them break up into different groups. So you see each character interacting with every other person in the group, either in a one-on-one situation or in a one-on-two situation. And I know I have a feeling it's laying the groundwork for a really good story. So the art, I had my issues with it, but it was still good enough that I appreciate the detail that it had, in that it lended itself to character development. So yeah, 8.0 out of 10.
8.0.
I'm sure someone in the chat's noticed this already, but I just realized we're both wearing Unit 01 shirts.
What? Oh my god, I want both
Pure
of those.
coincidence.
Those are awesome.
For these first 3 volumes, I have to give them 10 Puyos out of Puyo, 10 Puyos, because
10 Puyo out of Puyo.
not only because I really enjoy it as a manga, but there's also the nostalgia factor and the fact that like I said, I read this for the first time in like 2007, and for a long only had the first 2 volumes and the first season of the anime, so I'm like really familiar with this early part, and I learned so much about otaku culture from it and got so into things because of it that's a big part of, like, when I go back and read it now, it's like, oh man, the doujin shop. I remember this teaching me what doujin shops are, and now that's passé knowledge to me. That's so fascinating. And getting all the references, seeing Kujibiki on Balance again, and like, which to me is just basically My Hime, like before that was a thing, or any of those like early rereading this first 3 volumes, I now have an idea for an analysis video about Kujibiki on Balance, so that's always a fun thing to get out of reading a thing. But yeah, I have to give it my 10. I don't know if it necessarily deserves it, but with the amount of emotion I have packed into this manga, I have to.
Awesome. I think that's totally something that's worth a 10 out of 10 then.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yay. So we all, if you've stayed through this and have not read Genshiken volumes 1 through 3, you definitely need to go and check them out. We all recommend them and think they're awesome. So now I'm going to read the summary for the manga that we are reading next week, and everybody in chat gets to guess what it is.
Ooh.
I'm so excited.
What happens if I guess? Because I don't know what it is
You can
yet.
guess it. You can guess. All right, let me see. I haven't looked at this yet, so I don't know. Okay, I'm going to read it. When it comes to grades, bookish high school student Mariko Kumakura is at the top of her class. Socially, however, she is shy and lonely, typically eating lunch by herself. Enter the charismatic and beautiful Ako Oashi, whose goal is to befriend Mariko and burst her out of her introverted shell. In the process of transforming plain Jane Mariko into one of the cutest, most popular girls in school, deep feelings begin to emerge that suggest something deeper than friendship. Will these feelings destroy the budding relationship between Mariko and Ako, or will it turn into something else?
It sounds like every shoujo manga I've ever read.
Oh, it gets
Ooh,
better.
Ooh,
It gets
is
better.
anybody gonna get it? I don't know. This might be like one of the only ones that people don't get. Usually people are like, boom, 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 boom.
Is it a popular one?
It hasn't been
Within
made,
its genre.
within its genre. It's very popular. It hasn't been made into an anime or anything yet.
Is the girl like a student council president?
I don't know. I haven't.
Is she a tsundere? Oh, you guys
Says
haven't read it.
Bookish. You're like, she's a bookish high school student at the top of her class.
It is not girlfriends person in chat. That's a lesbian one.
No, that's what we're reading.
That's exactly what we're
Oh. Oh, I didn't catch that the names were both girl names.
I like how you're like, they wouldn't read that.
It's definitely not
No,
that.
when I heard the name, I just assumed it was a guy's name when you said the second name. Girlfriends is one of my favorite manga.
Really?
But I haven't read it in like 5 years, so.
It's finally
Oh my
time
God.
for YuriPod. Are you all
Yuri
ready?
Pod! We've done Incest Pod and Shonen iPod, so now it's time for Yuri Pod.
YuriPod.
Yeah.
Then
5
YuriPod later
volumes,
in
and
the
it's
year.
available in
Excited.
English, actually.
What was that?
You can buy it in English, actually.
Oh, you can't? I'm totally gonna buy it.
Yeah,
I
it's on
want it.
Switch.
I've heard it's really, really good, so I'm like super stoked to read
I'm
it.
excited to read it.
I
Yes.
like
We are reading Girlfriends, volumes 1 through 5, chapters 1 through 35, which I believe is the entirety.
that is
of
the
it.
entirety of it.
Yes. And we are reading that with Glenn, the only person who we could bring on for a Yuri part. Glenn loves anime. aka Glenn's the man, aka just Glenn loves Yuri, basically.
Glenn loves Subway.
Glenn loves Subway. So yes, that is what we are reading next week. Let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast, and then we will say goodbye. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. YouTube channel is youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. I do anime-related content, basically just a huge anime weeb / nerd. Anime reviews, first impressions, vlogs, anything I feel like doing. I also have Twitter, Instagram, all of that fun stuff. HappiLeeErin, all across the everything over there. So that's me.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger. You might be watching this on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/dexteritybonus, but I also have a YouTube, youtube.com/pressrttocontinue. I play visual novels and dating sims, and I do a weekly show about the games industry, and you can also find me on all the social medias at dexbonus, DEXBONUS. Thank you guys for watching.
And my name is Lou, and I'm from Lou Talks Anime. You can find me at youtube.com/Lou Talks Anime now, and Twitter, Lou Talks Anime. I talk about weeb trash, pretty much. I just suffered through Diabolic Lovers, and I'm going to be reviewing that
God.
crap.
Oh,
Yeah, no, like, I promise. The thing is, I was trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. I didn't quite get there, but, like, it was a significant growth on my channel that I feel I kind of owe it to them, and that was what I promised, that I would put myself through that hell. And it was miserable.
this is the
And I have to
only.
I already watched it, and I have to rewatch some parts for the dub so I can review the dub in the script. So
No.
it's gonna be the worst.
Well, I am DigiBro. You can find me on Twitter at DigiBrah, BRAH. My YouTube channel, just search DigiBro and you'll get me. You'll probably also get my like 5 or 6 alternate YouTube channels. I'm most places, so just like go to my YouTube and go to the About page, and there'll just be links to all kinds of stuff that I do. And that's, I'm not gonna list everything here because I can't even remember all the stuff.
If you're watching this on YouTube, it is in the description down below, so you can go ahead and check on that too.
Alrighty then.
Awesome. awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Digi. You were great.
You're awesome.
Thanks,
No
man.
problem.
It's so
I'm
nice to
glad
meet you.
Yeah, it
Talk
was so
about
nice
a
to meet
manga I
you.
like.
Yeah, if you
And I'm glad you guys all liked it. I was worried.
Oh
I was
no!
like- I was reading it and I was like, oh god, what if they don't like this? Like,
Aww.
it'll be a
You're just
nightmare.
like, and Digi never comes back to MangaPod again.
It's gonna be when we put Yu Yu Hakusho on the list for November, I think.
I think so.
And
yeah.
and Yokurama and I are both like big Yu Yu Hakusho fans, and we're both so worried that we're gonna go into that manga pod, and everybody's gonna be like, "This is trash."
I'm also a huge Hakusho fan. So
Good.
That's
I'm a
good.
fan of what I have seen, but who knows? I may hate it. I may hate it eventually.
I grew
My
up with
opinion
Yu
may
Yu
be
Hakusho.
different.
I can't bring myself to hate it.
Listen, Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite anime and manga. Like, I
finally
can't.
started watching the
You
2011 one. Yeah, it's
Really?
so good. The animation
Finally.
is so much better than in 1999. Oddly,
Strangely enough,
I
I need to
know,
go back.
it's
I've been wanting to
fantastic.
go back and watch the 1999 version too, just to
God,
like go
it'll
watch
hurt.
it.
in comparison,
watch
it'll
it.
hurt.
A lot of
Um,
people like it more, so it might be worth checking out. It's sort of like Full Metal Alchemist. A lot of people swear by 2003, so
Yeah.
gotta go.
I
Sorry.
like both
Opinionated.
too. But I know so many, I'm always just like, I like both of them. Okay, everyone else go argue. Thanks, great. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for watching us tonight, for joining us on YouTube and on Twitch. We really appreciate it. We will be here same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/dexterity_bonus, as well as youtube.com/HappiLeeErin, reading Girlfriends, volumes 1 through 5, chapters 1 through 35 with, oh, I don't know if you guys heard that, but
Puppies.
that was a puppy giving a shake. With Glenn Loves Anime. So we hope to see you all then. Thank you so much. Thank you to Digi once again for joining us, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye, bee.
Bye.